This training will focus on a quick edit on an iPhone. When you launch iMovie, you will select between Videos, Projects, and Theater. Video will show all the videos you have on this device. Projects will show any projects you have created, and Theater will show shared projects from the cloud. To get started, select the plus in the upper right-hand corner. You can choose between a movie and a trailer. A trailer will use a collection of your clips to develop a Hollywood-style trailer of your movie. This is pretty flashy and not something you would use in a journalistic application. For this, you will select Movie. Next, you will choose a theme. Each theme comes with its own music, transitions, titles, etc. You can preview the theme by pressing the play button, and you'll see what that theme looks like. For this, your best choice is a simple theme, and you can modify features later as you need them. I'm going to select Modern. Once you select your theme, click Create. Until you bring in a clip, the project is not yet created. Let's bring in an image I'm going to use to start our project. To add a clip, you select the film strip and note icon on the left. From this screen, you can import videos from a variety of locations, photos, or audio. Your audio can be selected from theme effects, music, or sounds on your device. We're going to go to Photo, and then we're going to select Recent, and we're going to select the sidewalk sale image. Now that we've added a clip to our timeline, we can look at some other features and begin editing. Let's familiarize ourselves with the screen and some options. Above the film strip note icon are icons of a camera and a microphone. Selecting either of those will allow you to capture a still image or record a voiceover narration. I'm not going to do that now because it would actually exit my video screen recording that I'm conducting. It is important to note that this will be saved into your iMovie project, not onto your device, in Photos, or iTunes. The top icon on the left will let us go back to our project screen and name our project. Let's do that now. And I'm going to name my movie Sidewalk Sale. Note when you click the back arrow, you select the text that says My Movie. Your text editor comes up. You can make those changes. We also have information about the creation date, the duration. You can also play the project, share it, or delete it using the bottom three icons. To edit, go ahead and tap the menu view on the left. The center image is the project screen where you can see your video as it would appear to the audience. Below this is the timeline. In order to edit and work with clips, you need to select them in the timeline. Notice I've done that and it turns yellow in the timeline. When I unselect it, you lose some of those options. We'll talk about editing the timeline in a few minutes. For now, let's continue to navigate through our workspace. On the right, the question mark indicates a help tool. As you select clips, you will receive different help tools. Next is your project settings, which appears as a cog. You can choose a project filter, which has a preview. Note this will filter your whole project. Later we will look at how to filter a single clip. After the filter, you can change your theme. Below the theme are options to turn on the theme music, look at fades, and allow speed to change the pitch. This last option will speed the pitch as you speed the entire clip. Fades are the transition. In this case, we'll change the feature of no transition to fades between clips. There may be times where that is appropriate and where it is not. You can always go back and change these transitions later. For now, I'll go ahead and move those sliders so we'll have both the fade in and fade out transitions between our clips. Go ahead and click Done to save any settings. Now we've returned back to our project. Below the project settings is the undo. You have multiple undos in iMovie. Finally, you have the play button, which will play your movie from wherever your playhead, which is the white line in your timeline, is. Let's go ahead and add a video clip to the timeline so we can compare how these work differently and learn some new edits. To do that, I will first make sure that my playhead is at the end of my clip. Then we will tap the film strip / note icon, and we're going to choose from our most recent videos. Scroll down and I'm going to select this one. When we add a video to our timeline, we have a few more options of how we would like to do it. Once the clip is selected, notice I can use my finger to scrub through this. I'm just using my finger to scrub over that video. We can add the clip by tapping the down arrow. Next is an option to play the entire clip. After that is a wave with a plus. Selecting this would add the audio without the video. The three icons after that represent overlays, which would appear as a picture in a picture for the video. For this example, we are simply going to add the clip to our timeline by selecting the down arrow. The clip is added after the previous one where the playhead was placed. Let's scroll back to the first clip and look at some options with it. When selected, notice it has some of the options below grayed out. We will talk through each of those in a minute, so just make note of the different options between the JPEG and the video clip. With JPEGs on the project screen, I have the option to position the beginning and end of the clip. This would create a Ken Burns style zoom effect on a still image. To do that, I can pinch to the position on the clip start and an end. So I'm going to pinch to position the start, and we're going to start right here on this downtown Lawrence icon. Next, I will click the pinch position to end. I'm just going to make sure that we have the full sidewalk sale in there. When we play this, this is how that clip looks, creating a zooming out effect on that clip. Now if it feels a little slow, what you can do is just go ahead and trim that clip. So I'm going to select my clip and just slide it over, and that'll shorten up that clip. Between my two clips is the icon for transition. This one is a dissolve transition, which is a default for this theme. If I would like to, I can change that. I can tap it to select the option of none. You do want to keep your transitions simple and consistent. For this project, I like the dissolve. Next, we'll go ahead and select my video clip. Notice I no longer have pinch to position, but rather a zoom tool. So I can pinch to zoom. So if I wanted to start my video out with a more zoomed in frame, I can. Now let's go ahead and look at some of our options for edits. Let's say this clip I'm going to start with and add some voiceover to talk about people arriving early, and there's a line to check out at Urban Outfitters by 7. And I'm going to split the clip in order to add this. So I've selected my clip, I've moved my playhead, and what we're going to kind of do is just zoom out right there. So now with my clip selected, my playhead placed, I really have two options. With my scissor tool, I can run my finger down the playhead, which as you can see is a persnickety little operation, but it did work. And you can see that with that none transition right in there. I'm going to undo that. My preferred way to split a clip is to move the playhead to where I would like it to split, and then actually click the split option on the right. That works a little cleanly. On the iPhone, it's a little hard to get your finger to move across the playhead. Notice that the transition is different than the one we had before. When you split a video clip, the transition is always none. This allows the video to play seamlessly. You can also tap the transition and change it. For our purposes, we're going to tap to select this part of the clip, and we're actually going to delete it by hitting the delete button on the right. Let's talk about some other options we have for editing. The timer icon deals with the speed of the clip. So you can slow it down, you can freeze your frame. So if I would like to freeze my frame, I can do that, which would freeze it right there. You can slow your clip down, all of those options with the timer. To return to that main frame, always kind of click that scissor, which is kind of your default transition. Next you have your volume. So in this case I do have some background noise on this video clip. If I wanted to decrease that, I can just bring that down. If I wanted some of it to be there, make it low. If I want it to disappear, slide it all the way down to 0. Next, to add transitions or lower thirds titles, I can select the T, and you'll notice I get a preview of how that would look. The first one is the transition for this theme, and I can choose to play it in the middle, at the opener, or at the close. For this I'm going to choose the middle, and notice my text editor comes up as I select that. I'm going to type 7 a.m. and where we are, we're at Urban Outfitters. Way that you add lower thirds or title slides, captions, whatever you like to have it. Next you have 3 overlapping circles. This will allow you to alter the effects on the clip selected. You may recognize these options as the same as the project settings earlier. While those affected an entire project, this affects only the selected clip. So if you wanted to change that to black and white, have any type of special effect, you can do that. That one's kind of interesting. I think I'll leave that. Now to get to our main screen, I'm going to press my scissor again so we can talk about the edit options on the right. On the right, we've already discussed how to split the clip. Next is detach. This will detach any audio from the video, allowing you to delete it if you wish. You can also duplicate it, which will duplicate any of the effects and settings as well. Finally, you can hit delete. Delete only deletes the clip from your timeline, not from your device. Notice that the clip has icons that will show all the changes you can make. So if you look carefully on the top of our timeline, you can see we have the T, the no sound, the filter effect, and the transition fade, all showing on that clip. If I decide I want to make a change to one, I can go back and make that change. So now notice we no longer have that no volume in that screen. You might notice that we have some additional clips added to our iPhone project here. I added some voiceover recordings on both of the clips, and those are just basically voiceovers kind of describing the scene, giving some history about the sidewalk sale. Let's go ahead and talk about some other options with audio. To access the audio files, you select the film strip and note icon, then audio. You can preview music and add it to the timeline. So there we are previewing our music. It includes voiceover recordings that are linked to that iMovie project. Those are the 2 voice recordings that I created. Remember that those recordings are only saved in this project, not on your device in iTunes. Keep in mind, while you do have your music accessible from iTunes, that copyright restrictions do apply, so be very aware of that. Let's go ahead and add one of the theme musics to this project, and we're going to add that bright one. I'm just going to drop that in there. Notice it is added below our voiceover and our clip. We can select it, we can decrease the volume of it, and add some fades to it. So here, that denotes it's kind of rise as it starts, and as we go to the end of this clip, we're also going to trim it on this side, which is going to kind of let it fade out. So there, we've kind of put together, we've got a still image, a little video clip, voiceover, and audio. Obviously, you would do a lot more work with this, but let's talk about how you will share and save this project. To do that, let's go ahead and go back to our project window, and this is where we're going to share it right here. So you can share it via the cloud, you can save the video. Please find out from your professor what size they prefer if you are saving it out. Notice you can also share it with AirDrop. That's a handy little feature. So if I click Save Video, I have some options here. If you're saving the video, the HD 720p would be appropriate for YouTube, for other online viewers. This is a good default choice as you're deciding how to save something. Also note that it saves as a .mov file. You can always access this back in your video files and bring it into iMovie for additional editing.